Shut up and sit down.
And now, streaming live from the sunny Southern California coast, this is Options Uncensored.
Hey everybody, I'm Steve. Welcome to Options Uncensored. We're making real options trades in real time together. Let's get right into it. First things first, make sure you have your brokerage account open so you can follow along. Make sure you have your YouTube video quality set as high as possible. That way you can read the numbers a whole lot easier. Have a calculator ready so we can do some easy math. And finally, remember, this is not financial advice. This is all for entertainment purposes only. All right, let's go over our open positions so far. We had our JP Morgan call spread close on Friday, so we'll go over that one in a second. ExxonMobil trying to get to 29. We're already up on this one for $4. SPY trying to get to 32. Marks at 82. We're a little behind, but that's okay. These both are December expiration. For our November expirations, we've got gold. This one's coming a bit today. We're still down, but we've got plenty of time, and if we need to, we can always roll till December. Macy's has earnings in a couple of weeks. We're trying to get to 49. We're getting close on this one. We may actually close this one before earnings even happen. And finally, Roku. We're down big on this one, but that's okay. We're not in the money, that's for sure, so that's good. But the thing is, we have earnings on the 1st. So we'll hold this one through earnings, and we'll go over that tomorrow, what we'll do in each scenario, okay? Let's go over our JP Morgan trade. Let's bring up the chart first, JPM. So on Wednesday, I think last week Wednesday, either the 24th or 25th, we opened a call spread. Our strikes were the 150 and the 155, and we received a credit of $81, okay? And we set our buy to close order at 40. So that closed very late in the day on Friday. So we made $41. Take your calculator, do 41, and divide that by 500 because that was the spread. It was a $5 spread. So we made an 8.2% return over the matter of 2 days. That's really, really good. This is probably one of the best trades of the year, to get an 8.2% return on your money over the course of 2 days. And actually, it's not really, when I say it's a $500 investment, it really isn't, because you're receiving a credit. We received a credit of $81. So if things went really, really wrong and we lost everything, we still keep that credit of $81. I just keep it at 500 to keep the math easy and simple. It's one less step that we have to do. So in reality, if you want to take 500 minus 81, we only really risked $419 to make $40. So you want to take, we made 41 divided by 419. It was actually a 9.7% return. That's even better if you want to get technical about it. But I like to keep the spreads easy as 500 just because we can move faster instead of subtracting the credit each time. All right. So like I always say, the average return for the S&P over the entire year is around 9%. We made 9% in 2 days. That's really, really good, okay? Let's keep moving on. Let's find something new. First up today is Western Digital, WDC. I think it's a post-earnings trade, okay? Earnings were today before the open, all right? Here's our chart. Why don't we look on the call side first? We're in December expiration, okay? 46 days till expiration. You'd have to go out and sell the 47.5 and buy the 50. You're only risking $250. It's not that great. Let's do the math on it really quick. 65 minus 31, divide that by 2, and divide that by 250. That's actually a 6.8% return. If you got a really small account, like $1,000 or so, you could sell this spread and you're only risking $250. That's not bad. That's a quarter of your account. Where's 47.5 on the chart? It's all the way up here. That seems reasonable. I'll mark Western Digital. We'll come back. Next, we're going to look at McDonald's. McDonald's had earnings today. I don't think there was much of a movement, though. Hardly anything. It's had this big move down. It caught a bounce here, so it could keep moving up. So let's look at the put side for December. If you sold the 240 and bought the 235, that's 191 minus 141 divided by 2 divided by 500. That's 5% on the nose. That's okay. 5% is like the bare minimum that we're looking for. On the call side, if you sold the call side, if you sold the 275 and bought the 280, that's 134 minus 76 divided by 2 divided by 500, 5.8. So you get paid more to sell the call side, but you're definitely taking that risk considering it had such a big move down over the past couple months. 275 on the chart. Right about here. That's not bad. I would still rather wait for a bigger move up and then sell the call side around here. So we'll hold on McDonald's. Next, ON semiconductor down big today. This is post earnings as well. It may actually catch a bounce right around here. Let's see if there's liquidity on the put side. Not bad. You'd have to sell the 55 and actually you can't buy the 50 though. The 55 is liquid enough. It's an 8-point spread, but the 55 is way too illiquid. You're not going to get filled here. So if you want to do it cash secured, if you got $5,500 in your account, you can just sell the put. I'm going to pass on that one. On the call side, if you want to sell the 80 and buy the 85, that's 105 minus 52. Divide that by 2. Divide that by 500. 5.3. So it's not great. Where's 80 on the chart? 80's right here. Right now it's on the low of the day. We got liquidity. 99, 107, 49, 53. Call side is very interesting too. I'll keep an eye on this one. We'll mark that one. Next is Verizon VZ. Earnings for Verizon are January 23rd, so we don't have to worry about earnings. Maybe sell something on the call side. You'd have to sell the 37. You're not going to get paid for it, though. If you sold the 37, skip this one. The put side, same thing. Skip the put side. Too small of a stock. We're kind of looking for stocks above $50. Next, CVX. We have our position on ExxonMobil. We sold a put vertical on ExxonMobil during the show on Friday, so that one got filled. So we are quote-unquote long ExxonMobil. Chevron, I think, got an upgrade today. Yeah, Chevron was upgraded. Post earnings as well. Could catch a bounce here too. Hey, look, I've got my Exxon position open. I'm not going to open anything here, but the put side, if you sold the 130 and bought the 125, what do you get? 115 minus 65, divide that by 2 and divide that by 500, 5% on the nose. It's a very safe trade. 130 on the chart. $130's down here for December expiration. That's not bad. I'm happy with my ExxonMobil trade, so I'm going to stay in that one for now. On the call side here, is there anything interesting? You'd have to sell the 160 and buy the 165. I don't think it's worth it. 66 minus 33 divided by 2 divided by 500, 3.3. Skip the call side. You don't get paid for it. All right. Next is Datadog. I think it's DDOG. Yeah. Down to almost 3%. Earnings are coming up. It was downgraded today. That's why it's down. But earnings are too close. Earnings are November 7th. We're too close. I'd rather wait till after earnings at this point. Interesting. Good liquidity too. If you sold the 60, bought the 55, but you're going to hold through earnings, that's the problem. On the call side, sell the 97.5. Buy the 105 for a $750 spread. I'm not interested though. Next, Cisco. I think upgrade, downgrade maybe. Downgrade. And earnings are on the 15th. Too close. However, it is approaching the 200-day moving average. Could get a bounce here. And it looks to be around a 50% retracement. So maybe you could get a bounce here. On the put side, if you sold the 45, not terribly liquid though. Actually, it is liquid. 31 minus 6 divided by 2 divided by 500. Horrible. 2.5% return. Skip this one for sure. Next. Oh. Earnings are on the 6th. Too close. But look how bad it's down. Hoo-wee. Maybe we'll follow up with this one after earnings. The put side, not very liquid. And you have to sell the 40. You don't get paid for it. Next. SRC, another realty REIT, up 8%. This may be post earnings, that's why. Nope. Earnings are on the 2nd, so we're 2 days away from earnings. Any news? I don't know. So you have to wait for after earnings on this one as well. Even though it's had this big jump up, it's already sold off a lot as well. And no liquidity. All right, let's check in with the TLT. This is the 20-year bond market ETF. Our 2007 lows are around 82.5. So it bounced there last week. We'll see if 82.5 holds or if it breaks down below 82.5. If it breaks down below 82.5, we may sell puts then. That's kind of what I'm waiting for. Selling 82.5 is fun, but you see we got a lot of support down here at 81.5, 80. If it breaks below these, there's no support. I mean, it doesn't go back that far. You have to look at some long-term charts of the 20-year bond, essentially. But if you want to sell puts here, I'd wait. But you'd want to sell the 77 and buy the 73. It's a $400 spread. 67 minus 26. 67 minus 26 divided by 2 divided by 400, 5.1%. That's really good for the bond market ETF. I've traded this a couple times. You don't really get paid for it, and it moves. It moves with momentum. On the call side, if you want to sell the 90, buy the 95. That's 71 minus 26 divided by 2 divided by 500, 4.5% on the call side. Getting interesting. We're almost there. We'll see what happens after this week. We'll have a lot of bond movement this week with all the news coming up. We got job report, some inflation numbers, and the Fed meeting. Let's look at Google. I think we're post earnings on Google. Yeah, next earnings for Google is February. Getting a bounce here. On the put side, if you sold the 110 and bought the 105, that's 96 minus 53 divided by 2 divided by 500, 4.3. Skip the put side. On the call side, you'd have to go out to the 140. Sell the 140, buy the 145. That's 78 minus 38 divided by 2 divided by 500, 3.7. Even worse. Let's skip this one. Next. Tesla. I think they've bounced already. No, they haven't. They're still going down. Well, Interesting chart. On the put side, if you sold the 160, bought the 155, that's 282 minus 225 divided by 2 divided by 500. That's not that great. 5.7. On the call side, if you sold the 240 and bought the 245, that's 340 minus 273. Divide that by 2 divided by 500. Now that's interesting. 6.7% if you sold the call side. Where's 240 on the chart? 240 is right about here, where it was right before the earnings report. Huh? I don't know. You could do this one. Could go wrong. I don't know. Not crazy about this one. I've traded Tesla before. It can be very nerve-wracking. K-Web. This is the Chinese ETF. Trying to wait for it to get to around 28 and then sell a call spread. We're not there yet. All right, let's go to our IV rank scanner. And we'll sort by volume. SPY still has high volatility, 63% IV rank for the 30-day IV rank. Let's check it out. SPY. I've got my put spread open here. For December expiration, here's our spread. We sold the 393 and bought the 388. If you want to open something today, if I did, I'd sell the 386 and buy the 381. That's 341 minus 276. Divide that by 2. Divide that by 500. 6.5% return. That's not bad at all. 386 on the chart. Where is it? 386 is down here. That's fair. If I didn't have a position open today, I'd open this one. Cool. On the call side, does it beat 6.5%? Probably. If you sold the 440 and bought the 445, 165 minus 99 divided by 2 divided by 500, 6.6%. So slightly better if you sold the call side. 440 on the chart. 440 is all the way up here. That seems very fair too. When you're trading the SPY, it's always going to be fairly priced. It's so liquid, so much volume every day. Cool. Next, the Qs. I don't like trading the Qs. NVIDIA has earnings on the 21st. Awfully close there. Yeah, maybe 2-3 weeks. NVDA. I think like if I was going to sell something right now before earnings, I'd sell a call spread. Just remember these prices include the earnings volatility, okay? If you sold the 45 and bought the 490, wow, that's expensive. 792 minus 715 divided by 2 divided by 500, 7.7% return. So, I don't know. If you sold this one today and over the next 3 weeks it kept moving down, you'll be out of this one before earnings. This one's very interesting. If it keeps moving down, you'll be fine. If it stays right here, it keeps moving up, you're going to have to hold this one through earnings. But I think a lot of positive news is already priced into earnings, so it would have to really do well on the earnings report to keep moving up. Okay. Very interesting, though. 7.7 on the call side. Okay, next. We still got a lot of earnings to go through, so we'll have to be aware of that, okay? So if I was this morning, but it's only a $7 stock, it's not worth it. Apple earnings on the 2nd. We'll follow up with Apple in a couple days. Meta is post earnings, but still has high volatility, 31% IV rank. Up 4% today. Let's check out Meta. It's come down a bit. I don't know. I have no bias for the calls or the puts on this one. On the put side, if you sold the 260, bought the 255, what do you get? 310 minus 255 divided by 2 divided by 500. 5.5%. That's not great. On the call side, you'll get paid better on the call side. If you sold the 345 and bought the 350, that's 355 minus 283. Divide that by 2, divide that by 500. 7.2% if you sold the call side. 345 on the chart. Where's that? 345 is all the way up here. Doesn't mean it can't get there by December, but it would be an all-time high. No, it wouldn't. Just kidding. Sorry. Let's zoom out a bit. I don't know. All depends on the data this week. I'd skip this one. Ford is past earnings, and they had their auto worker union stuff settling down, but it's only a $9 stock. You're not going to get paid. AMD, earnings today, so we'll follow up with AMD tomorrow morning. Same thing with GM. Things have been resolved, but it's only a $27 stock. It's not worth your time. The TLT we already looked at. Silver. Bumble has earnings. Bank of America. And the banks are still high. All the banks have already reported well over a week ago, but they still have heightened volatility. Something's wrong with the banks. HYG, Palantir, earnings. GDX. Let's look at gold. Where are we on the call side? I've got my call spread open. I think one of my strikes is in the money. The 186. Actually, no. I'm back out of the money, so that's good. If we need to roll, how many days till November expiration? 18 days. I may have to roll this one sometime this week. We'll go over that sometime. But if you want to open something with gold today on the call side, if you sold the 195 and bought the 200, that's 148 minus 85. Divide that by 2, divide that by 500. 6.3% on the call side for gold. That's still not bad. 195 on the chart. All the way up here. That's a really good trade. If I wasn't in a gold trade right now, I'd make this one today. Next. We already looked it on. Coinbase has earnings on the 2nd. Enphase is post earnings. They're still going down. Let's take a look at that one. ENPH. Traded this one months ago. Post earnings and could catch a bid anywhere between 65 and now. On the put side, you'd have to sell the 60. That makes sense. Sell the 60, buy the 55. 125 minus 68 divided by 2 divided by 500, 5.7% return. That's okay. On the call side, I wouldn't sell the call side, but if you sold the 95 and buy the 100. 136 minus 83 divided by 2 divided by 500. It's even worse. I'd sell the put side. but not today. Next, we just looked at the GLD. PayPal has earnings tomorrow. McDonald's is post-earnings. Uber has earnings. Right. JP Morgan still has heightened volatility. They've got an event on the 2nd. What do we got? Bank Analyst Association of Boston Conference. Jeremy Barnum, CFO, will present. That should be entertaining. JPM, maybe we can get back here now on the put side. Earnings are in January. Here's our chart. Oh no, man. On the put side, if you sold the 125 and bought the 120, it's 129 minus 79 divided by 2 divided by 500, 5% on the put side. That's not worth it. On the call side, sell the 150, buy the 155. That's the same strikes we just did. 70 minus 27 divided by 2 divided by 500. Yikes, only 4.3% now. So when we sold the spread, we made 8%, 9%. If you sold it now, you only get 4%. So we caught the move. Great. Not anymore. Don't sell it anymore. You missed it. Next, Citi. I don't like Citi. Verizon, we already looked at. Spirit Airlines must have earnings. ExxonMobil, we're already in an ExxonMobil trade. I think Block has earnings tomorrow. Sorry, Block has earnings in 2 days. We'll follow up afterwards. The XLF. No. Let's go back to Western Digital and on and see if we can make something. WDC. Here's our chart again. This is post earnings. On the call side, I think. If we sold the 47.5 and bought the 50. 55 minus 26 divided by 2 divided by 250, 5.8. That's 5.8. And let's look at on really quick. ON. On the put side, sold the 55. No. Let's go back to Western Digital, sell the call spread. WDC. All right. We're selling the 47.5 and buying the 50 for December expiration. 47.5, where is it? Up here. Okay. Risking $250, so this is a very small spread. If you got a small account, this one will be good. 57.550. Go to verticals and change this to 2.5. Here's the 47.550. Go for 36. All right, let's check our ticket here. So we're going to sell one December expiration 47.5 on the call side. We're going to buy one December expiration 50 on the call side. Limit credit of 30. Let's go for 37 now. 37 cents. Okay. We'll preview this. So sell one call to open. Buy 150 call to open. We'll receive a credit of $37. That's important. Actually, we're going to change this to 38 now. See if we can get 38. Okay. We'll preview this. One more time. Receive a credit. We'll send this out. And this will hang tight here all day. 38 cents. 38 divided by 2. So if this gets filled, we will set a buy to close limit debit order of 19 cents, and we'll set that as good till canceled, so it'll be open all the way until expiration. If this gets filled today, great. If it doesn't, that's fine. We'll come back and look for something tomorrow. All right? Thanks, you guys, for watching. Tune in every morning. We go live every morning, 7:15 a.m. on the West Coast, 10:15 a.m. on the East Coast. We trade options in real time together. This is all live. You can follow along. Subscribe, you'll get alerts. Also, tell your friends that are trading options too to subscribe and follow along. We can all trade options together and learn. If you made money on the JP Morgan trade and it was entertaining to you and you enjoyed watching it, I've got a Venmo up above. Send me $1 or so. Say thank you. It helps support me, helps support this channel. All right. Thanks so much, guys. See you tomorrow morning.